Are you ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your butts. It's the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw, with your hosts Sizzle and Spedsy, as well as a bunch of Australia's best-looking creators and artists. Hey, Sizzle, what say we start the shizzle?
You're on mute. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Drink and Draw. I'm your host, Lauren. Welcome, everybody. While Rob's having some technical difficulties, let's run through what we're going to be going through tonight. I'm Lauren Marshall, and we've got a bunch of other hosts and guest artists that are going to be part of the show. Rob. He's left me in the lurch. Here he is.
It happened again. I'm just bringing everybody in. I had this cool intro. Golly gosh, my whole thing shit itself. Man.
Lauren,
welcome. Oh, man. We run such a smooth operation. Please, everybody, welcome our guest for this week's Drink and Draw. This is Matt Kyme joining us for the first time, Matt Kyme. We are here to draw his character, the Demon. Oh, man, I had this whole spiel, but all my buttons died.
Do the spiel. Do it.
Well, the spiel. Where's my spiel? It was like, hey, mans, welcome to Friday night's Drink and Draw, brought to you by comx.net.au. We're here every week bringing together some of Australia's greatest creators and artists to chat with and draw the character of a very special guest. This week's special guest is the man behind The Wrath of the Cursed, The Bulletproof Kid, and so much more. He's Matt Kyme, and our artists will be drawing his character, the Demon. Now let's welcome those artists one by one. Well, let's do it. There's Lauren, Pete, Nick, Angie, Dave, Ed, Lee, and Zach. Yeah!
Yeah, good one.
It's much better than what I did. Well done.
Now my poor wife got the turn Netflix off because my internet. So welcome everybody. Good golly.
Movie intro was good one.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it killed everything, but it looked cool.
Mate, I actually thought for a second there, I thought, what the fuck have I got?
I thought it was an ad, yeah.
What are we suddenly being sponsored by some beer?
I thought I'd dropped out or something.
No, we upgraded.
Yeah, and of course, the first person I clicked was Lauren, and then it died, and left her in the lurch again.
And I was like, how you going? Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. We have the awesome Nick Cleary playing what was the guy's name on Hey Hey It's Saturday who did the drawing in the background?
You know, I looked it up. I found
you don't look anything like the big bird. What are you talking about?
That's Ozzy Ostrich.
Mr. Squiggle.
Yeah.
So, Matt, sorry for just throwing you in the deep end here. What can you tell us about the Demon as our artists get started putting him together?
Never heard of the Demon. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
All right. What can I tell you? The Demon was my love letter to my favorite character, the Phantom, and I've been making comics for a while, and thanks for holding that up, Dave. So if you just look at the cover there, you see like the yellow strip up the top, very reminiscent of the 1980s Phantom comics. Now, the history there is that when I was 9 years old, I started collecting the Phantom comic, and quickly became my favorite character. And I've had this sort of love of that character for years and years and years. So when I started self-publishing comics, I entered with the Bulletproof Kid, which was like a superhero, bright, fast, colourful teenage superhero kind of thing, and that had a bit of a I guess like a Marvel, 1960s
60s.
Marvel kind of feeling, but also maybe a bit more like Invincible as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I injected a bit of like my teen experience in that. So I had like a bit of a autobiographical aspect to it. But years later, I was sort of chatting with my friend Simon Wright, and we're trying to think, we should collaborate on something. We've been friends now for a couple of years, and I like your work, you like mine. We should come up with an idea.
Mm.
And it was around about the time that Oi Oi Oi, that magazine was in the news agents.
Yeah.
Matt Carmichael.
Yeah, Nat Carmichael, absolutely. And I thought that looked like a really good vehicle for Australian artists and writers to get their work published, because it wasn't just going in comic shops; it was going in news agents all around Australia. So I thought, I want in on that. That would be my dream, to have something that I had created to be in news agents. That would be, to me, like being famous. So Simon and I were kind of throwing ideas backwards and forwards at each other, and nothing was sticking. I had an idea and he didn't like it, and he had an idea and I didn't really like it. And eventually I said to him, "Oh, what do you think of the Phantom? Are you like into the Phantom? Ever read the Phantom?" And he said, "No, never." I said, "Well, I've sort of got this idea of doing like a bit of a tribute, like we'll make a story about a real white hat hero. Like, he doesn't kill anyone. He's just like a, really good moral compass kind of guy.
Mm.
But we'll make it look like it's from the 1930s. We'll make it have like that nostalgia aspect." And Simon was like, "No, not interested." Like, I think initially he was sort of interested, but I could tell it wasn't really his cup of tea. And he drew a few concept sketches, but I think after a while we decided that maybe we'd work together on something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I contacted Nat and said, "Hey, I've got this idea for this sort of, Phantom tribute sort of comic." And he said, "Yep, sounds great. Go for it, write it up and send it through." So I was stoked. And I think the plan was initially that he wanted 8-page stories, or at least he wanted the story broken up into parts of 8 pages. So I worked on the first 8 pages and sent it through to him. And it was just taking a long time. I think he put out issue 8, and my story was going to be in issue 9.
Mm.
And I mean, it's been years and years and years, and issue 9 has never happened. So I just went ahead and self-published it. So yeah, so that's kind of the story. It's based on my love of like my favorite character, the Phantom. And you'd think that would have been a good thing, but apparently it was a bad thing. And I had to be punished.
Yeah, you think it'd be good advertising for the Phantom, really, because that's basically what it was, as a fan zine, really, I guess. What do you call it? There he is.
Yeah, usually they like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a bit weird, I think.
Yeah. It's a what are they called? Homage or something like that?
Homage.
Yeah.
Homage.
Yeah.
It depends where you're from.
The interesting thing is, I got some legal advice around about that time when I was told to stop it, and I spoke to the lawyer and said, there's so many comics out there which are a tribute to something else. Like it's hard to find an original idea. There's so many things which are very obviously inspired by something else.
Yeah.
And the lawyer said, "Yeah, but they'd never admit it. Right? They wouldn't come out and say it." And in Australian law, you can do a parody, and you can do what's the other one? Like a parody or like a knockoff of something. I've just lost the word, but a parody. But you can't do a tribute or a homage. There's no such thing in Australian law for tributes and homages.
Right.
And I just assumed, in my naive state, I thought that would be fine. I thought that, the Phantom people would like it. I thought they'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
But I think they tolerated it for a couple of issues, and then I got a letter saying it's time to stop.
Your
Not
popularity must have been on the rise, Matt, and they, had a few dibs in sales or something, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine that. I wouldn't have even been a flea on their butt, really. I was.
No, that's right.
I'm just a self-publisher.
Yeah.
As Dave was saying, like it probably, if anything, might have promoted the character a little bit.
Facebook user, g'day.
But
They
look,
might also have to aggressively protect their copyright, like in America.
Yeah,
so
I've got
if they let you
that's-
through, and then someone else might be able to.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
trouble that
speaking.
comes from America, I think, Ed. It's American owned, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
So litigation.
Well, interestingly,
city.
like the letter came from like the parent company of the parent company. Like it wasn't from the Australian company, and it wasn't even the company that they get the license off. It was like the big company.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and wow. Like the wording in the letter sort of indicated that the person writing it was, a lawyer who had no idea who I was and had no idea what I had done or even what the Phantom was, but they had been told by someone. Yeah, that's me, a flea on a butt. That's a good way. There I am, drawing my little self-published tribute comic on someone's butt, and then there's someone scratched that butt and I fell off. But yeah, look, I was told that the company probably needs to protect their license. If the big company finds out that they're allowing it to happen, maybe. Well, that's looking good.
Oh, good one, Zach.
Wow.
Jeez,
Good
mate.
progress report.
Yeah.
Fast.
Geez, you're moving along as you do.
Zach is drawing that.
Cheating. I have experience with the character.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't count.
see, the curse rose from the ashes of the demon. Really, I'd been told to stop doing that project, which I really loved, and so I decided I'd do like a really, really ultra-violent comic with lots of heads being cleaved and lots of blood spraying out everywhere, which
Get
was
some of those
completely
frustrations
different
here.
to what the demon was all about. The demon was very, safe, very kid-friendly. So Wrath of the Curse was kind of like an exercise in, getting out some emotions, I suppose.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to show us a little progress report? I know it's early, but one of the comments we've had is show us more often what you got going. So we aim to please. Nice pose work, Dave.
Good, Dave.
Dave.
This is really nice, actually, to have people that know the character and also to be drawing it. It's really, really cool. And there's a character which I haven't drawn in years, actually.
Yeah,
right.
Itching to pick up a pencil, mate.
Well, I got a pencil. I just haven't started drawing anything. I talk too much.
Ah, well, yeah.
Well, if you ever want to come back as an artist and draw someone else's character, good golly, we'd be very happy to have you.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched a couple of your episodes. It's always a hoot.
Yeah, we have a good time. We try to.
Try to, yeah. Sometimes it's forced. Just when Dave dies on.
Also, I should mention Angie here. She's officially drawn the demon. She drew up a story for me, which was right about the time when I got the cease and desist. So what we just rebranded it a little bit and turned her story into a cursed story. So it's still
it turned out so well, though. I think it's still one of my better works today.
Yeah, you like it? That one, yeah. That was in which one? Which one of the cursed was it? The first, second, or third?
Angie, you're getting called out.
It might have been the third, was it? Yeah, it was.
I think.
Oh yeah, sorry, Angie. When it's in this single view, that's when you drop out.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, it's on purpose. That's cool. No, that's cool. Faces not required.
You didn't see my face at all last time.
No.
So.
Issue number 1.
Is it in issue 1? Is it?
Yeah, issue 1.
It's in the back, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, I was thrilled actually because I wrote that story with Angie in mind.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I was so happy with the way that came out, Angie.
Yeah.
No, the characters were just really complimentary.
If you turn it back a page, Dave, to her first splash page, that's really, really good.
No, back or forward?
I soloed you too early. It's just looking at the top of your head. I mean, it's a quality head, but
nothing but
nothing
but blank space up there, mate. Nothing but blank space for advertising. Angie didn't do that one.
No,
Dave, you might have to get a billboard on our heads.
I didn't do that.
You've said that.
Go another page over. That was my fault. I said it was a splash page. It's not really a splash page. No, not that one either. Just her first page. First page of that story, Dave. Yeah.
Matt, that's the way, mate. Slow him down. Slow him down. Get him looking at your comic books so he doesn't roar as much.
So it's a little bit hard to see, but that whole no, that doesn't make it better. that whole,
I think it's the background was all like black space. Yeah.
Anyway,
why do I feel like Matt's just fitting in like really easily?
Oh, me and Dave have known each other for years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we always have a good laugh.
Yeah, I haven't caught up with you a couple of years now, mate, since I've seen you. You know, it's been well, I don't think it would be a couple of years for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Better get this cowl on this fella. His hoodie.
So how did you go, Matt, with the transition from the Demon to Wrath of the Cursed? Was it smooth, or is there some bitterness there, or how did it affect your creativity?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, I really had to think about what I was going to do because the Demon was like I guess the most successful thing I'd done, and like being a self-published comic, like you don't make any money out of it, but it was the thing that was connecting with people the most, and it was a really good talking point. Like, I've been that's great. I've been going to cons.
Good one.
Yeah, that's good. That's really there he is trying to find the right page.
Yeah.
Put Edith Joe's on the top.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that at the conventions, I'd be having these really good chats with like Phantom fans. Like they'd come up, they'd see the branding, and it was all like I'll admit it was all intentional. Like the yellow strip at the top and the blue background. It was really to appeal to like-minded people, and so I deserved what I got. I suppose I was trying to hook, line, and sinker Phantom fans. But like the reception of it was great. Like real hardcore Phantom fans were seeing it for what it was and writing to me and saying, "This is great. Like this is exactly what we like about the Phantom.
Yeah.
Like, you've done your homework. You're obviously a fan of it. This is great. Do more. Because it was going to be a one-off. I think half the reason I got in trouble is because I kept at it. I did 5 issues, and then I got so. Deciding what to do then was kind of hard because I had zero motivation, zero interest to do anything. I was pretty much keen just to like give up on the whole thing and find a new hobby, like try and
there you go, Nick.
Something.
Yeah.
I'll never try to be sporty. So I decided that I had a few stories.
Yes, Alex is.
I'd written a few ideas and a few stories which I'd written, which I didn't want to abandon completely. And my plan was that the next issue that was going to come out was going to be an origin issue. And I wanted to really surprise the readers and have it completely, entirely different from the Phantom. Because the other thing which is interesting is that the similarities to the Phantom got less and less and less as the series went on.
Right.
Like I wanted it to be. I mean, I'll tell you, like it's a team book. So for one thing, the Phantom always got to learn. The Demon was a team, and it was a family, and there were women. You know, it wasn't just the oldest male. You know, it wasn't just the oldest son continuing the legacy. It was any child who wanted to. So there was this multitude of demons. There were cousins who were, you know, working together, and they weren't starting it when the father died. They were working alongside their father. You know, so the whole thing was like a family team book. So when I had thought about an origin, you know, like the Phantom was.
Yet, oddly enough, now in the new issues of said other comic book, doesn't he work with his children?
Yeah, that's starting to happen. Keep going, stop.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I hope the lawyers aren't going to kick down my door and drag me out. Well, they might. But look,
No, they won't.
The origin which I'd come up with was sort of the opposite of the Phantom's origin. If you know
I think what you're telling me is it seems really coincidental that you came up with this character, you know, quite some time ago. And like I read that comic book, and it's only been in the last, I'd say, 6 months. There's regular stories of a family unit working together. You know, that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not for and against. I'm just saying there seems to be a strange coincidence that they've tapped on your door and said, "Hey, buddy, back it up." But you know, in a few years' time, we might investigate that, you know, level of story there.
Yeah. You start. And we'll just take some notes. Yeah.
Oh.
Who knows? That's looking cool, Dave.
Wicked. Awesome.
So you see, like the Wrath of the Cursed, when you look at his design, there are similarities. That's great.
That's good, Ed. Beauty, mate.
Yeah, that's sick.
So for the uninitiated, they are different characters, the demon and the cursed.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say that the demon is the cursed. Oh, sorry, the cursed is the demon, rebranded with a few tweaks.
Okay.
I couldn't continue doing what I was doing, but I didn't want to give it up completely. And it just so happened that the next issue was going to be the origin, and it was set in a different time period, and everything was entirely different. I was no longer going to do like the 1930s style. It was going to be like a bit more of like a manga kind of style, like a Wolf and Cub kind of approach. And so
I got to say, you did that so well, because I found this manga, this old manga. I can't think of the name, but the style was just so similar. I'm like, wow, this is like really authentic, and really sort of you just executed it really well.
Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. Like I don't even know what my style is, because that's the family.
Yeah.
You know, I was really trying to replicate a certain nostalgic style with the demon, and
I mean, it's very much your style, but it was very you sort of made a few tweaks that were very effective within your style. Like it really connected with that old school manga kind of samurai ninja style. Really well.
I've got a
especially
question
the inks.
All the artists out there, like if you're drawing in a different style, you know, like if you're trying to do like a manga style, and then you're trying to do something which is a bit more like of a 1960s Marvel style, do you think your personal style still comes out in the paneling or in like the facial expressions? How do you know when you've still got your style? What do you guys think?
I think you can tell.
I think it's like not referencing too much. Sorry.
I should direct questions at individuals, shouldn't I? Because everyone's got
I think you can tell faces.
Faces.
So if people draw eyes or something,
expressions. It's also in the pacing, and it's so many elements, really.
The hands and hair are very
Well,
personal,
the pacing is a good
stylistically.
point, Ange, because no matter what work you do, you keep your own pacing. I don't think you can change your pacing.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too, because like I've tried to be a bit more like slower, but I end up working even faster because I'm just like got to do things as soon. Like I like to get on with the next page. Yeah.
I like to meander, honestly, and take as much time as I possibly can. That's why I've realised, like, after a deadline that I had for the first time, I don't like deadlines. I'd rather just go at my own pace and stuff and know when the page and stuff is finished, just, within myself sort of thing. But I do get to a point where I think to myself, like, oh, man, you got to wrap that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, could go on for another 3 weeks, So
that's so infuriating for me. Like that's
So you're referring to the pacing as in like the speed in which you draw it, not the pacing.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the speed.
Like
I'm talking
the
about. Oh, sorry, I was talking about get the work pace.
Tony Menzies sent in a work in progress.
All right.
Yeah, Tony.
And that dude can play, man.
Yeah.
Tony's the best. I've collaborated with him a bunch of times, and he just always blows my mind. That's outstanding as usual.
I noticed you got a few covers done by him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tony's unreal.
That's the beauty of this show, Matt. Is because of this show, I've met all these people here that you got to see on the screen, plus another, 20 or more. I don't know. There's just always meeting people on this show. So I really love being part of this.
As do I, Mr. Dye, as do I.
Oh, look at that. Community is unity.
Indeed it is.
This really has got that Hate Saturday vibe, every couple of minutes.
I missed that show.
Who's John Blackman?
I'll grab the
sorry.
Zach.
Sorry, Dave, wrong button.
No, that's all right, yeah. Zach's inking already.
Dave, champion.
Of course he is.
Look at that. Fantastic.
Nice work, Zach.
You're talking about style, but every time you see Zach's stuff come up, straight away it's Zach, no matter what he's drawing. I don't know if I've got that thing with I look at the stuff I've
done.
Yeah, you do for sure, Dave.
Absolutely.
You're one of the most recognisable artists I can think of in the local.
Matt,
yeah, I agree.
I got an original page of Dave Dye's the other day, and Dad said I must have spent 5 or 6 hours looking at that thing, man. Like just looking at it, if you know what I'm saying. Like it's brilliant.
No, I've got a few of Dave's pictures too.
Lee, look at this.
I see it, my man.
Yeah, but look at it harder. Look at it.
I try to draw. I spend time looking at it like down here, pondering about what shall I do next. I will look at Mr. Dye for inspiration.
The weirdest thing is it came in the mail yesterday or the day before, and I hadn't opened it yet, and I thought I'll quickly open it just as we were starting the show. I had no idea that was in there, and I haven't had a chance to fully gear up over it. It was like. It's like, anyway, on with the show.
That's how I felt. I was like, whoa. It blew my mind, man.
Because I got myself some signed comics as well. I heard these tales are quite amazing.
I've heard the same.
Can confirm.
Nice. Thanks, fellas.
You can find all Dave's stuff on ownanindie.com. Just type in Dave Dye and you'll be away to the races. There's heaps of Matt Kyme stuff on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be more
Used to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Used to be double.
Oh, and speaking of homages, I picked up this book as well this week. Someone else you've teamed up with before, Matt.
Yeah, that's my main man.
Yeah.
You see, that's a parody.
Yeah.
That's a satire. Satire is what I'm struggling for. Right?
That's parody.
Yeah, parody and satire is fine.
I don't think Kieran likes the P word even being mentioned when in connection with that.
P word.
Speaking of the P word, first collaborations. Obviously, you're big on collaborating. You've collaborated with at least 2 of the people in this room.
Yeah, if not more.
One thing that Zach was telling me was how incredibly kind you were to basically let him take the cursed and just run with it. It's something that me and Lee have talked about before, about being precious with our characters and having to let go a little bit. Is there, I don't know, can you talk us through that sort of letting someone take your thing and run with it?
I felt honoured. You know, I didn't hesitate. I was aware of Zach. I'd seen his work. I'd been up to these comics a bunch of times, and I'd seen Bronwyn in the flesh. And you know, having someone who I regarded contact me and say, "Can I do a crossover?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." Like there was no why.
Headshot! I'm in the room.
Of course, I'd say yes.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like. When I first came on the scene, and I was trying to promote the Bulletproof Kid, I contacted a bunch of people and said, "Oh, let's do a crossover," and a lot of people said, "No, why? What? No, I'm not going to do that."
That's
yes.
Zach smashing through his work.
That's just reminded me, like me and Darren Close, we were halfway through a Demon Killaroo crossover.
Yeah.
Like I'd written the script. And
this comment came in earlier.
Yeah.
Was there a Killaroo and Wrath crossover in the plans? Can you see the comments on the bottom of the screen?
I can't, no.
Oh, that's all right. Well, so there's a comment that says, for those who came in late like me, Matt, wasn't there a Killaroo and Wrath crossover?
No. The plan was it was the Demon and Killaroo.
Yeah.
And that had been promoted in the comics. Like we had an ad for it. Darren had drawn this amazing cover. There was like a tribute to the first appearance of Wolverine. I can't remember. It's like Incredible Hulk 100 and whatever. And
yeah,
181.
Yeah, that's the one. I did know that. I've just forgotten it. So yeah, we sat down. We'd met up one day, had a lunch. We talked about the direction it was going to go. I came up with the story. He liked it. I've read everything to do with Killaroo. I'm a massive fan of that. So I was stoked that he was interested because I approached him. And I said,
right.
In my opinion, Killaroo is the iconic Australian comic, and I've got my little thing, which is getting a little bit of popularity. Let's team up. And
then this guy, of course, iconic Australian.
Hey, that graphic work drop.
That goes without saying, Becky. No one has to.
I got that one lined up, ready to go.
32 minutes in, we've fucking got it.
Sorry, Matt. Yeah.
That was a dangerous comment I made before saying it was the most iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Courier is.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, Ange.
No, I hope so. I mean, not today. Okay.
But how good is Courier, though? I'm always impressed by Australian comics.
Yeah.
And Bronwyn and Matt Kyme, and there's just so many amazing comics out.
Where's the beard, Nick?
Who's got a beard? Whose beard's missing?
Does Killaroo have a beard?
No.
Full body beard.
He's got a scar on his side, I think.
I thought that was Lee. Unity.
Well, I'll be.
Put it back, Rob.
Oh, sorry.
Darren Close, if you're out there, apparently I'm Killaroo. So
Well, there you go. That's the true unity.
Oh, there you go.
That's it.
I'm the demon too, Matt. Maybe we should get our agents together and talk.
Now that's a parody of Lee, right?
No, not a parody.
Lord, I hope it is, Nick, or you'll get
Yeah,
it.
look out. They got good lawyers in Townsville.
Oh, yeah. Paid by the carton of beer, mate.
Oh, he has to be bush chook too.
Beg your pardon?
Benji, what are
he
you
has
doing?
to be
You're
bush chook.
playing with buttons, are you?
Sorry, yeah,
Outline's done.
I'm getting people are sending art
Have a
through.
look
So
at
I'm-
Ed's. Ed's got something there, mate.
sorry, yeah, I was in button mode.
Yeah,
Got the outlines done.
beautiful.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey,
You're going to
Looking
go
real good.
colour tonight, Ed? You're hitting the Copics or whatever?
I gotta
they're
do a
called?
bunch of black in the background.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm
where's
starting to get
Pete?
something
Pete,
again.
you doing feet today?
Feet?
You doing some feet tonight?
I'm always doing feet. I might even draw some.
Ah,
What
nice.
about-
Matt.
Oh, wacko, mate. Geez, that didn't take you long.
That's cool.
Father drawing his child.
After last time's debacle, I thought I'd skip feet today.
G'day, Verze. It's a parody, that's what it is. Nice one.
Well, Matt, I'll read out some of the messages as they come through because this one just says, Matt Kyme, what a bloody legend.
Yeah.
Who said
I
that?
don't
Signed
even
Matt
see
Kyme,
him,
was
so
it?
not bad.
Was that signed by Matt Kyme?
Thanks, Mum.
Check the credentials of that person. No, they're true. I back them up. He's a legend.
Well, thank you, dear viewer.
Here's Nick May just sent this through. It's about to
Nick's-
pop up.
Next
Wait,
one,
here we go.
good on you,
Nick.
Nick. Yeah. The pinhead.
Oh man, that's so good.
Geez, it didn't take you long to do that.
That's unreal.
That's obviously because he's in his natural position of laying down, Dave.
On his bed.
Yeah, Nick May's just kicking back with a few pillows. He's in his natural
on his back.
position. His feathers are out, and he's like, "Bang! I'm
Yeah.
doing this now." Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
That's a story from a couple of weeks ago where Nick May apparently likes to draw laying down, and it caught us all off guard.
He started the comment by saying he does his best work in bed.
Hit it, Rob.
Yep, sorry.
cool.
I just
Hey.
clicked the wrong thing. Yep.
That's it.
There's one Nick drawing another. And he writes his comics while he's asleep, he said.
Yeah.
And here's an update from Tony Menzies.
Ah, good.
Oh,
Going good, Tony.
Crazy.
Awesome.
yeah, unreal.
Mm.
Unreal, Tony.
So, Matt, how did you turn your Phantom troubles into actually working for the Phantom?
Well, that is one of life's big mysteries.
Yeah.
While I was making the demon, I was very open with through. Like I was sending them emails, and I'd sent them a box of comics, and I was approaching them at conventions and saying, "Hey, I'm that guy that does that comic. You know, have you seen this? I've sent you a few," and I wasn't getting sort of any like negative reaction. You know, like they weren't.
Yeah. Coming for you, Lee.
Yeah, they didn't give me the feeling that I was on their radar in the wrong way. And you know, and a lot of the cover artists and people that worked for Fruit were fans. Actually, let me show you something.
Yeah. Coming for you, Nick. Nick, comment. Nick, comment.
Whoa.
I need a bell.
I need a bell.
Well, right.
See that?
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
that's the cover.
That's awesome.
And it's by Jason Paulos,
Yeah.
and even better on the other side, it's by my dear friend
Oh.
Angie.
Oh right.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
There you
Remember doing
go.
that one, English?
Yeah. Well, I can recognise Angie's work from that.
Jason
Yeah.
Paulos obviously has been doing a lot of work with Brew. You know, he's been doing Phantom stories, Phantom by Gaslight. So I sort of felt like I was going to conventions and I was hobnobbing with all these people, and you know, I thought everything was going hunky dory. And then, hey, look, what was the question?
How did you turn your Phantom troubles into actually working for the Phantom?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, look, after all went down, I got an email from Frew saying, you know, we want to meet up and chat. And I thought, well, what more do you want? You know, do you want blood or?
Yeah.
Nice. That would have been awesome.
Cool.
That would have been a hard meeting, man. Like after your initial like, and now they want to meet. You wouldn't have had any idea what you were walking into, dude.
Well, that's exactly right, Lee. The email was very brief. It just said, you know, I'm going to be in Melbourne. I'd like to meet you. And I thought, well, you know, like we've met.
Yeah.
We've met.
You took everything from me.
Yeah. So I wrote back and said, why? You know, why do you want to meet? And they said, I won't mention any names, but the person said, it's all good. I want to talk to you about an opportunity. And sure enough, that's what it was. You know, it was the first story that I had. So in a way, in a roundabout, long, horrible way, it was a good shot.
Yeah.
In fact, this was a goal which I hadn't even set.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I never in my wildest imagination thought that I would do a Phantom story. Like my understanding at the time was that there was only ever a couple of Australian stories, and they were written a long time ago. The 90s is a long time ago now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there hadn't been any other stories since those Jim Shepherd stories and Keith Shadow, and also Jim Shepherd and Glenn Ford. And I wasn't aware of through having any plans to do local content.
Yeah.
And so when the Demon was out and I had a couple of issues out, that's when I saw that Phantom by Gaslight was going to be published. And to me, that was amazing. I thought, I can't believe after all these years, they're finally starting to take a chance on local creators. You know, I felt really, really happy for Jason Paulos and Chris Sequeira. I thought those guys are, you know, that's living the dream. And it wasn't my dream. I never imagined that I would have any opportunity like that. And so
like even pre the controversy, you thought you wouldn't have a chance?
No way, no chance.
Yeah.
Like even when I was hand delivering the comics to Frew, it was just like it was a gift. It wasn't like the whole thing wasn't like a job interview. I wasn't trying to impress them and get a gig. I was literally just making a self-published comic that I thought a small bunch of people might like. And I thought that might include them. They might like it. They might get a kick out of it. It wasn't some kind of tricky way to try and get in with them. It was just simply I wanted to make the comic and I wanted them to see what I was doing. And I think after, you know, I don't know if there was a bit of a backlash. I don't know what made them decide to give me a chance. But, you know, was I going to hold a grudge or was I going to do the comic? Why not do both?
Well, I only need to know about one, I guess, mate. Don't they?
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Give him a chance.
Look, no grudge anymore. I mean, I was hurt, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't change it back. It's happened. It's history.
But I had someone say to me when I did the comic, someone said to me, "You've got no integrity."
Ooh,
what? Really?
Yeah, for doing the comic book.
Because you didn't hold the grudge.
Yeah. Well, because I had taken an opportunity to work for that company who would squash me, but I thought that's a bit rough telling me that.
Well, it's also the Phantom is bigger than the people that are in charge of it, so you can hold a grudge against the people that sued you, not the Phantom himself. You get to draw the Phantom as if you're going to turn that down.
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean the love for the Phantom's still there, that's for sure.
Why do you think the Phantom seems to resonate with Australians more than Americans and whatever? Why is he so popular
He's
here?
fucking cool, Rob.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just because it was available? It's like the only comic in the shop.
Yeah,
I think that's part of it, though. I honestly think that, like, a lot of Australians think that the Phantom is an Australian comic
creation.
Because it was printed since the 1940s in Australia by an Australian company, and then you know, I don't know if people back then thought it was an Australian creation or what, but you know, when you compare it to when the 60s came out and all the color American comics started to flood the market, I think a lot of people looked at the Phantom and said, he's the underdog comic on the shelf. You know, there's the razzle dazzle American stuff, which is colorful, or we can go local and buy the Australian comic. So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Can I, Matt? We've mentioned an artist here this evening that you're a fan of as well. So am I, and all of us on the show. Tony Menzies was mentioning a comment, and I'm throwing it out there, mate, while you're here, and you're in the trenches with the Phantom people.
And he's on the air, so just to put him on.
I'm throwing it out there. Tony Menzies, one of his bucket goals in life is to do a cover of the Phantom. And last week he threw up on this show while drawing, you know, like off screen, an image of the Phantom that I have to say, I've been reading it a lot. I've read the Phantom for years. Actually, like, really, I looked at it and thought, like, fuck, that's a cover, man. And if there's any way, you know, you could, you know, give Glenn Ford or old Dudley or anything a bit of a heads up and have a look out for this dude, man. Like, there you go, Tony. Good on you, and well done.
I would certainly love to. I just don't know if I've got that position yet.
That sort of stroke.
Like, Tony Menzies should be getting work for them. No, there's no doubt about it. His art, unbelievable. But that's not my. I'm not in. You know, I've got 2 stories out. I might have a few in the pipeline, but I'm not exactly. You know. Yeah. Well, look, I can't hurt to try, but I just don't think I've got that much pull.
So, Matt, way back when, what brought you to comics in the first place? Did you start as a...
Pop me up, bro. I want to show this one.
Sorry, I missed the bell.
So Aussie. The Phantom is Aussie as they've died.
That's right, mate.
Tony Menzies, he's you loud and clear there, Lee.
We got him blushing, did we? You got him blushing. Good on you, Tony.
Sorry, Matt. Yeah, what brought you to comics in the first place?
Fame and fortune.
It's like all of us.
Yeah.
Look at us now.
I looked at all the local creators driving their luxury cars, living in their business. I thought, I want some of that too.
Yeah.
Where's my piece of the pie? No, look, I've said it in interviews before. It's like a compulsion, you know. Like, some people love basketball, some people love golf, some people love surfing, whatever, and they do it because they just love it. So, I had always loved comics, and I'd always sort of dreamed of working in some capacity in comics, whether it was writing them or drawing them or lettering them or something. I just thought it would be really cool and fun. And for a little while, I lived in Coburg, not far from
One sec.
that comic shop that Phil runs, Cat's Cradle or Evil Empire. It used to be called Cat's Cradle, but now it's called Evil Empire.
Yeah.
And I went in there one day because it was just around the corner, and I said, "Show me the Australian comics. Where's the Australian comics? I want nothing but Australian comics." And there was like this tiny little box that he brought out, and it was so disappointing that there was so little, but it was so good. You know, like that's the first time in my life I saw Killaroo, and I bought that instantly and thought this looks great, and I was thrilled that like it had, you know, like Darren's email and all that kind of stuff in it, and I bought a whole stack of indie Australian comics, and we're probably going back to about 2009, I think, when this happened.
Yeah.
And then I just started to like another one I'll tell you is Jason Franks, like McBlack. That was a comic that I loved, and I thought, I can't believe, you know, this guy is just, you know, some guy in Melbourne. So I sent him an email, and I got onto a few people. There was a few comics from Local Act Comics from, I think they're So
you want me to tell you a funny story? Local Act many years ago were the first comic book place that picked up Battle for Bustle.
Oh, amazing.
And that's what led me on this huge story, because he looked at me and he said, your first like fucking 50 pages is shit, but your next 10 are awesome. Go back and start again. So I went and started again because, and he was a good, like a really cool guy, man. I forget his name, but they had some excellent comic books out at that time.
It's funny because I have a Local Act story too. I picked up one of their issues of something, and it had like a submissions thing, and I hadn't drawn any comics that had gotten past maybe 3 pages before I went to the next project. And so I stuck the submission thing above my desk at home, and I started my first ever, I'm doing this one all the way through, 22 pages, Badly Beaten Boy was my first comic. But I took so long that the place had closed down by the time I finished the comic. But yeah, they were very inspirational, and they seemed very open to supporting people and stuff.
Well, that's actually where the first probably 22 pages of issue 1 of Battle for Bustle, the artwork stems from, man. I did it back then. So it's all sort of tied in,
So we can see the massive influence that Local Act had. You know, they're a now long defunct company, but we're still talking about them, you know, all these years later.
Yeah.
That's
now, were they, at some point I got it in my head that they were called Local ACT, that they were based in Northern Territory. Was that, am I totally wrong? Yeah.
That could be true.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, could you tell us who this artist is here? Just
my favourite artist, Robbie Donaldson.
Yep, that would be the man. Can you see that, Matt?
I can. I love it.
Awesome.
I can't believe there's people out there that know this character. You know, when I was invited to do this, I thought, gee, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Who's all these characters?
You have no, I mean, if I can pee in your pocket for a moment, when I told people we have a little drink and draw chat with the 30 or 40 people that sort of are regulars on the show, everyone wanted to jump on this show. And there was a bunch that were spewing they missed it and all that sort of stuff. So,
Matt, I had to fight him off with a stick, mate, and I live in Townsville. It was a big fucking stick.
And you know, you asked me a couple of weeks ago which character we should do, and I thought, look, probably should stick to the Phantom because it's the only one anyone's going to know. But then you said, oh, we should go with the Demon. I thought, hey, mate, if you think
I know that was the one that people were talking about. So
couldn't do the Phantom. We did the Phantom last week.
Yeah.
Well, this was even before. This was before we had Glenn.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. I was going to ask you, Matt. You always work traditionally, don't you?
Yeah, always traditional.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there was one exception, and it's in the trade, in the Wrath of the Curse trade. There was the story that our mate Roger wrote.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever done anything on the computer.
Yeah.
And I think it turned out all right.
Right.
But yeah,
Roger Pitson.
yeah, Roger.
You did a digital Bronwyn cover.
Sorry, what was that?
You've done a digital Bronwyn cover.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yep. But as far as like sequential pages go, usually.
Oh, sequential, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that cover, I was really pleased with how that one turned out.
That comes out soon.
Excellent day.
All the greats have done digital Bronwyn covers, haven't they, Zach?
Everyone in this room has Bronwyn.
Is my mic working? Or? A guy that we've spoken enough about tonight, so I won't mention his name, has just finished
Tony?
his piece.
Yeah.
Don't mention his head's big enough, Dave.
Fantastic.
At least he doesn't have a horse to feed tomorrow, Dave, as long as he'll be able to get out the door.
Great work, Tony. Looking good, Zach. Beautiful, mate.
Really
mate.
That is cool, Zach.
Yeah, that's wicked.
Right. Tony, that picture was unbelievable.
So that's more in the Wrath of the Cursed sort of outfit, right?
Yeah. So the demon's sort of distinguishing look is that he's got the grey, tights. He's got the dark grey trunks. He's got a thick leather belt, and he's got the hood, and it's all sort of ripped up and torn up. And the big difference with and he's got face paint with the nostrils and the lines on the mouth and teeth.
Yeah.
The Wrath of the Cursed, he's got more. Like his entire half of his face is blacked out. He's got lines down the side which join up to those teeth, and he wears a cloak with a white trim around it. And he's got a couple of like rib sort of design on his chest, a big wide belt which he fits his swords into. More of a sort of Japanese samurai kind of look.
Yeah.
Mark has just sent in this question for everybody. I'll go around the room real quick. If any of the artists were given a contract to draw a mainstream character / comics, which would it be? So what do you reckon, Lauren? We'll start with you.
It's going to have to be Usagi Yojimbo. That guy, I just am desperate to draw.
Nice.
Turtles?
I'd really like to do the original Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Oh, yeah?
I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah, wow. What about you, Nick?
Probably take some Fantastic Four action, I reckon.
Well, these are not at all answers that I expected. Angie, what about you?
It'd probably have to be Pokemon or something like that. They do a little manga.
Awesome. Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Now, I could never in a million years pick Dave's answer. Dave, if you got a contract to draw any mainstream character / comic, what would it be?
I think I'd probably go for Judge Dredd.
Who did you say?
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
Nice.
Wasn't expecting that one.
You are a fucking champion, Dave.
Zach, what about you?
Probably Xena or Wonder Woman.
Oh, of course. Why did I should have guessed that.
So I feel like I'm the predictable one here.
I might retract and maybe say Blueberry. I'd love to do that. Blueberry. Do you know Blueberry?
Cool.
No.
Mobius drew him. He's the Western.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Check it out.
Oh, yeah, hangs out with Booster Gold, right? Blueberry?
Yeah.
Oh.
Swinging a miss.
Lee, who would you choose?
Actually,
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Amazing.
I got a whole thing down for Ghost Rider, man. Zach's heard about it. Shane's heard about it. It's like, I would kick into it, man, straight up.
All right, Ed, I'm going to guess Ninja Turtles?
No, I'd do the thing for Marvel, and it'd be like a intergalactic wrestling story where he's wrestling aliens.
Bring him my picture.
Wow, wow.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
The thing.
I love how you dinged your bell, but you still were just like, nah, bring it up. In fact, no one mentioned this guy is absolute bullshit.
Sorry.
You're all off the show next week.
That was my third choice.
Yeah.
After the other two I mentioned.
I thought it was implied.
Judge Dredd left field, Sizzle says, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that one, the old Dredd stories.
I love Judge Dredd, man. Everyone. Oh, love Judge Dredd.
Oh, nice. Gee, you had that one in the chamber?
Yeah, that's the previous joke.
Yeah.
I dropped out then.
Oh, nice, Lauren.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very good.
Very old, very like angry boy.
So easy too when you just like share the screen.
Yeah, it
Well,
really
it's so
looks
easy
like
when you're
pencil
just mad at life yourself. So
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Sounds like you guys should all make a homage book. Sorry, Lee. Yeah.
Would you like me just to take a photo and send it to you via Messenger? Is that easy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Whichever you prefer, bud.
It's easier than holding it up, man. I usually do that with Sizzle when he's on. So,
Question for you, Zach, on the screen.
You just layer it multiple times and you get a darker shade of grey to go over the top.
Mm.
That's hard.
Nice. Alex Major said he would love to tackle Sailor Moon.
hell yeah.
I could see that actually.
Yeah.
Check it out, actually.
That's a anime, is it? Sailor Moon?
Yeah.
Anime manga.
But that's like 80s, early 80s.
Yeah. Bloody Alex is pretty old and decrepit. He'd be into that.
Burn.
That was back when he was in his spy days, mate. You know?
That's how you get no streaks, no lumps.
No, sorry. He actually. No, Alex didn't say that. He said he wanted to see Dave tackle Sailor Moon.
Oh, please do it.
I don't know what it is, mate.
It's about this young sailor, Dave, who accidentally, instead of getting on his ship, he mistakes it for a spaceship. He goes to the moon.
Right, yeah, I don't mind sci-fi.
And he finds himself like going, "What? I'm a sailor and I'm on the moon. This is crazy."
We're whalers on the moon.
So we're past the hour mark, guys. Does anyone want to show some progress reports?
Where do we send them?
You can send them just to me on Messenger, or you can email them to. Oh, that's so cool!
It was originally going to say, "I'll see you in court," but I thought that was a bit too close to home.
Yeah, Angie, you can send them to. I should have had the thing on the screen. Sorry. You can send them to rob@comx.net.au, or you can just Facebook Messenger me.
All my text just ran out of ink.
Oh,
I was going to call the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
It's too awesome, though.
Good stuff.
Got those feet covered up. Nice.
Fantastic.
Smoke and rocks, man. That was $1 million. That
real cool.
That's really cool.
Smoke and rocks. That's right.
That's right.
Nice.
Is that Sailor Moon?
That's the one. My memory.
It's a girl, is it?
I
Girl?
really don't know what Sailor Moon
Got
is.
big long spaghetti hair.
I really don't know.
Yeah, what?
Sorry, it's that part of the show where everybody's sending me stuff. So,
All right.
Lee, Dave, if you guys want to co-host that shizwazzle, go for it.
Put Lauren back in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Marshall Show.
I've just had a break briefly, and I'm ready to go. So what do I need to do? Hi, Zach. That was fantastic. Everyone's artwork is fantastic. There's no doubts about that. Marvelous, Rob. Your ability is insanely unbelievable.
I haven't drawn anything.
Oh,
that's how good you are.
But you have.
All right. This is Lee's piece. Sorry.
I tried to make it as least momentum as possible.
The angry boy.
It's a terrifying place to come at you.
You did put a lot of lines on the page in an hour, mate. Fantastic.
I'm just drawing, man. I'm just drawing.
Just doing your thing.
Just doing my thing.
Lee, you got a Duncan saying you suddenly turn it on and you morph into a 90s game show host.
Oh, for at least 10 seconds there, if I was a 90s game show host, I'd have the cards and I'd be like, and over to you. But there was no one to go to.
Alex Major. Oh, sorry. That bell adds some urgency to things. That's unity.
That's right.
All right, thanks.
I would watch that show.
Well, Rob.
What's that unity?
And Alex Major just smashing out a cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex on fire.
Take that, you shark.
Yeah, why is he punching a shark? Poor shark.
Oh, and he's still managing to point to the hottest member on the show. Sorry, Andy, that's like a tradition.
I think Lauren, he's pointing at Lauren. It's not.
No, he's pointing to Angie. It's got a little finger on his arm.
Oh, me.
Oh, no, it's Nick.
Yeah. Look, he's pointing. It's like bing, bing.
Well, we normally say that they point to the two hottest members.
Point to everyone.
We're all the hottest.
Hey, there was a shark on the cover of issue 5, so I'm not sure if that's a reference to that. But that was
amazing. Cool. I think that might be one of the ones I've got here. Yeah, there is. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Well, he's not punching him, he's stabbing him. God damn.
Maybe
the shark was a racist, don't worry.
Lee's bringing back Family Feud, apparently.
All right.
So we haven't seen everybody.
Hang on.
Andy,
mine coming yet.
I just emailed mine.
Oh, sorry. Too many buttons.
I need to put like a tear going down his face because
man.
No, tear down his face because he knows that he wants to be the hottest, but he's.
I'm temperature hottest. It is pretty funny how for the first time the animation's not pointing at me, so I jump on Angie for all the hottest things.
Like, I don't know what to do. I'm not the hottest one. What do I do? Who am I?
Shattered him for the week, you know that now. He's in therapy as of Monday. He's already texting emergency booking.
All right, mate.
Sorry, yeah. Checking my email for the show, not just
cool.
Wicked.
Oh, Mr. Die.
That's really cool.
Are you digging your belt?
No, it's me washing my brush, I think, mate.
Oh. I thought so. For the behind the scenes, if people don't know, Nick's got a little bell that tells me when to cut to his little cartoon. And I thought he was being a rude ass just then. Dave's showing his piece and he's going ding, 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 ding.
It was me washing my brush in my water jar here. The ferrule was hitting the glass.
I think my junk found it. Oh. Good thing about this is I get to see some of the things before everybody else.
So, Matt, did you say you're working on another story now? Or for the Phantom?
Yeah, that's what's happening. The last one I put out, the Diana and the Heartbreakers. The art for that one was drawn by Shane Foley, and he and I have teamed up again.
Right. That was a really good issue.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh, good on you, mate.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's the one with Diana on the cover. The one I did the cover of Diana's like swinging through the jungle in a Phantom suit, but the interior, I wrote the story, but Shane Foley illustrated it.
Right.
And we've sent off another script that I've worked on, and it's been approved. So he's working on that at the moment, which is really super exciting. So that'll be number 3.
Cool. Yeah. So, because you did all the art for the first one you did it. You did you wrote it and drew it.
Yeah.
That's
right.
So you've sort of just going to concentrate on doing the writing now.
Well, I'm trying to know what my strengths and weaknesses are, and like I've enjoyed self-publishing, and I've had a certain standard that I've kept, which I've been happy with, but I just don't know if it's the level I'm happy with to go out into the whole wide world,
Right, okay.
Like even like when I look through my issue, that Phantom comic, and I don't know if the others are like this as well, all I see are the mistakes. All I see
That's artists in general, dude.
Yeah. I think it's the same with musicians and writers and everything.
Bring it back.
So,
there's impatient Nick. There wasn't Nick. Oh, and me demanding honest. Nice.
That's Peter.
Sorry, Matt. Totally cut you off.
Oh, look, I was just starting to ramble. Just
well, that's it happens, mate. You do something and then you don't want to look back at it because you see, what that head's too big, or I don't like the way I did that, or
I try and think of the moment when you finished it. You looked through it at the time and you were super proud of yourself. Like that's what I try to remember, opposed to me when I'm grown now. Like that's not who I was back then,
Sometimes with me, Lauren, I get to the point where I think if I work on it any more, I'm going to wreck it. I'm not super happy with it, but I better stop because one more brush stroke. Working traditionally, it's a pain. You make a mistake and you've got to fix it up in Photoshop or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm.
Hey, Sean.
I look at professional artwork and I love it, and I look at my own work and think, gee, Then again, professionals, they're drawing 8 hours a day, aren't they? Every day. That's what
yeah, well, that's right. And they've got, that's right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just got to get the pages done. Allocate the time, get the pages done. That's it.
Yeah.
It's right. I saw something
found
today.
The part is people that think, you have those moments where you go, get it out there. I really don't like that drawing. There's people out there that come back to you and say, man, that was like the coolest drawing ever. And you sort of say,
exactly. Your mind will just stop you all the time.
I don't want to burst the bubble, but yeah, sure.
That's right. That's what happens.
Man.
And then, the better you get as an artist, the higher your standard becomes. It becomes harder and harder, I think.
Yeah.
I'm finding that looking back. While I'm doing these reprints from when, I'm finding looking back at the early 3, I'm like, nope, redoing that, nope. And you're like, no, I meant to just put them back out. It's a reprint of that time.
Yeah.
I'm redrawing pages.
I can look at my first book, the first book I did was the Anzac Legend, and I looked through that and I actually enjoy it.
It helps that it's a masterpiece, but yeah.
That's not a master.
I was like, well, that's your worst. Let's see your best.
But that was my first one, that Anzac Legend, that 200 pages I did, and I looked through some of it. It's pretty bad. I should have redone that whole panel. I know I should have done it at the time, but I was too lazy to do it. And and it's one of those things. I've got to get on with it. I've got to get this thing out, otherwise it'll be never done. So I just let that'll pass that. So I look at that panel now and I go, ugh, I should have fixed it. But there's a lot of other panels. There's a lot of other stuff in there that I think, I'm really happy with that. I really like. And it's the same with me. A lot of my old stuff, I can look back and go, yeah, I like that. I like that. That's not so good, but majority of it's I'm pretty happy with.
Do you find, Dave, do you take shortcuts on your own stories, like with the work, because you want to get it finished, but then when you work for someone else, you put yourself a bit harder?
That's harder. Yeah, you got to really you got to produce the goods for them. They're relying on you, aren't they?
But at the same time, they've liked your stories. They've seen your art. Oh wow! So
yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
Oh, it looks great.
Oh yeah. That's got a Spawn cape going on there.
Oh, wow.
Like Spawn. He's a huge voluminous cape. Very good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's totally awesome.
See, I never set myself a deadline, Matt. I gave myself 20 years to do the first 4 issues of Battle for Bustle, so it's like deadlines are all new to me. You need it done in 2 months. Fuck, it took me like 2 years to draw 8 pages before. How am I going to do that in a month,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's drawings. Yeah, drawing creativity, it's all different for all of us, man.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. I don't think.
But it's we're supposed to be talking about. Thanks, non-inspirational. Thanks, mate. Yeah.
That's Mark. Mark is his name.
Mark. Oh, thanks, Mark. Good on you, mate.
Ed on fire.
Oh,
really?
Ed ran off to Office Works while we were talking.
Yeah. Fantastic.
You're meant to be quarantined, aren't you, Ed? Running out and getting texters.
I found one. It's making it.
Oh, sorry.
Bond villain. Oh. Yeah, damn.
That's cool, man.
Oh,
That's an old school one.
Tight.
Awesome.
I've
What
got
a
something
drawing
here.
board you got too.
Geez, mate, the creator. But Dr. Frankenstein knows how to make his own monster, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I had to look at your pictures to remind me what he looked like.
I'll be back in a sec.
Hey, Pete.
So, look,
This is a comment for you. Apparently, you're looking like a Bond villain.
Correct. That's my look. That's what I go for. Because I was patting the cat.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I clearly
was
missed
patting
it.
the cat.
I was like, I don't know any like wild-haired beanie wearing Bond villain.
Wild haired, excuse me.
I think you heard me, mate. Is my microphone not working, or?
My piece of original from
That's
Matt.
cool.
Oh, I like that. You got me curious what the secret message is, Dave.
I love you, Dave. No, it says it's got my address on it, so I don't want to have it.
That night was very special to me as well, Dave. Here's a picture.
That's right. But yeah, thanks, Matt. I never actually personally got to thank you for that. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's all right. That's my pleasure. I've got a bunch of drawings that you've done, Dave. Every time I order something off you, and every time you order something off me, we're always drawing into pictures. I've got a little folder down here full of pictures. I've got pictures by Angie, you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's good, eh?
Probably
Great
Zach
stuff.
as well. I've got various pictures.
Is that Alex?
There you go, Peter, to you, mate.
That's Pete, yeah.
Nice.
Pete's got 6 cats, though, don't you, Pete? You should be surrounded by 6 cats.
We've got 4, but they take a room each at night. They don't share.
I grabbed the friendly one, he says.
Yep. That was the one I had. There's always the knife one.
You got a cat, Matt?
Me? No, I've got a dog.
Right, yeah. No, you and me, the odd ones out, mate. We haven't got cats. Everyone else has got a cat.
Hey Matt, so does the cursed wear a mask, or does he put makeup on, or what's going on there?
A mask.
Yeah, it's face paint.
Face paint.
So
Do you ever see him in the comics, like loading up, like doing his thing?
in
There's an issue he does.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got I get mixed up now. What the demon had face paint as well, but the demon had face paint and a mask. But the cursed doesn't actually wear a mask at all. It's just all face paint.
Okay.
So you'll see, like in the cursed comics, like I draw his eyes. I don't, it's not that sort of
Hey, Dunk.
blank pupil sort of thing.
Well,
good on
I
you,
think
Nick.
we are past the hour mark. Everyone's handed in their art as far as I can tell. It's probably time to go home.
I've been
Even
in
though
the time warp again. There's a
I heard the
time
bell.
warp happen.
Closing time.
Yeah.
That's right.
It goes so quick, that hour.
Yeah. Well,
That's
this
an hour
is
and a
what
half
is it?
full.
Episode 17. For episode 30, Dave, we're planning a 2-hour Christmas show, mate. So get ready.
Okay, that'll be good.
It's a million miles away, but got to plan these things. I plan all this stuff, and then my internet dies, and it becomes the Lauren show for the first few minutes. Mind you, it did make me think it would be cool to just randomly spotlight someone at the start, and they have to intro it.
Hey, and everyone has you get to randomly choose them and put them on the spot, see how they go.
Yeah,
and then that gives you like a segue into seeing if they'll be a host in the future and whether they're good or not.
Thanks, Dan.
Right?
And then I can retire and just sleep on my big piles of money while you guys are.
Big piles.
At least that'll be a comfortable seat for you, Rob.
Yeah, a cushion seat with a ring, one of them donut seats for you.
I'll count your money.
I want to say.
Yes, no, Dave.
Remember, there was something I wanted to say last week, and I forgot to say. I'll say it this week. I hope it's not too late.
We've run out of time. Sorry. See you guys here.
There's a great Kickstarter going. Daniel Reed, Mycelium Complex. He's a. I don't know if you know Daniel Reed. Bloody brilliant artist and a great storyteller. You'll love it. So I recommend it highly.
And I'm not sure if I'm hoping to get a writing credit on that because he put out a word to say, can anyone think of an Australian item to add to a big splash page? And I said Sunny Boys, and he drew a Sunny Boy in there. So I think that gives me a writing credit.
Ed, hold them up again, mate.
So I just pulled these out like last week.
The Ed
portal? You just bought them, did you? That's
no, I've had them. I got them when they came out, but I was just looking through and seeing who wrote them, and I was thinking, like, what's this? Is this guy still making comics? Because these are really good. And then I saw the Mycelium thing with the guys writing it.
Right, and there you go. Terry Link's holding threes out. Get hold of that.
I'm glad you said the name. I wasn't sure how to say it. I was going Terralolimpos.
SK is doing that one. SK. Yeah. So get onto that one as well.
Do we have a link? I guess just search Terralympus Volume 3 on Kickstarter. And what was the one you were talking about, Dave?
Mycelium Complex.
I see that Mycelium Complex artist is also selling a couple of pages to people for $150. Fully penciled day 3 and stuff. And that's a good deal. If you like that stuff, get onto him.
That's perfect.
All right. Well, thank you very much to everybody here in the room. Special thank you to Matt for joining us. You're welcome anytime, both guest and both artists, whatever you want to do.
Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you to everyone at home for watching, and especially thank you to those artists who sent in stuff. So thank you very much. We'll be back next week. Now, I said this a few weeks ago because I got my things all mixed up. Next week is Mark Sexton of Bug and Stump, and we'll be drawing Bug. We will be having Matt back to do the Bulletproof Kid in a couple of weeks. Until then, we'll catch you down the road. Thanks so much for
Bye,
joining
guys.
us.
Thank
You
you.
can check out everybody here on comx.net.au. Just type their name in the search bar and you'll
Feel
see
the
them.
breeze.
Thanks.
Feel the breeze blowing us.